What's up, guys? Dave is here. Another Fight Bananas podcast. I think we're at 290 episodes. God, we're rolling. Also is rolling this Friday, LFA UFC Fight Pass. We cannot wait. Big show. LFA is just churning out content. They're churning out UFC fighters as well. So another one on the rise is the Phenom. Our guy Evan Elder coming on the podcast right now. Evan, how you doing, my man?
Good. How are you doing, bud?
Doing great, man. Doing great, man. How excited this Friday, back in the cage, LFA, UFC Fight Pass, a lot of big letters there.
Heck yeah, man. I'm super excited. I'm honored and humbled to be there, and can't wait to put on a show.
For sure. It is like it's such a big platform. It really is. In the last, seems like 18 months, LFA, they're just churning out a lot of fighters to the UFC, to Dana White's Contender Series. I know those are goals of yours, or there's where you think you should be soon. How important is it for you to fight on LFA?
Oh, I think it's super important. It's crucial for anybody trying to make that step to the UFC to start kind of leveling up, fighting on bigger stages, getting to higher platforms. So it's a big step in my career, and I'm really excited.
Absolutely, man. I saw some of your stuff, watched you on YouTube, some of your Shamrock FC fights. You're a finisher, my man. 3 fights, 3 first-round finishes. Dana White has to love that. Is that something you pride yourself on, or is you most fighters, they take what they get, they take what they see, and they jump on it, or you want to be a finisher?
Honestly, before, I kind of was just kind of, I'll take it as it comes. If it goes to the decision, it is what it is. But now definitely I've got a different mindset, even more than my last fight. I think your mindset, just like your skill set, is something that's always leveling up. So, now I definitely do think, I have every intention in finishing it every single time I step in the cage. So especially this coming up fight, I'm planning on, I really feel like my striking has improved a lot, and I plan on go and, really finishing them in devastating fashion, and hoping to do it quick. But I definitely, I'm prepared for for it to go 3 5-minute rounds, and shoot, if they want to make it for a title, I'll go 5 5-minute rounds.
There you go. So much there to unpack. I definitely will jump into the gym. There's a lot of even just topical things I would love to talk to you about. But something you really said there, and we just been on for the last 6 months on the podcast about the mental side of the game. Guy dear to our hearts, Georgie Masvidal, just seems like 2 years ago, just made the decision. That's it. I'm no more decisions. I'm just done. Like be or be done. You know what I mean? The resurrection, he calls it. A lot of fighters, amateur, regional, to the UFC. It's a whole. You guys train at some of the best gyms in the world. You guys are all, 5'7" or 155 or all that. You guys, that's what it is with the weight class. 95% of the game is all mental, and I've been hearing that a lot throughout the last 6 months. So how do you think your mental game has changed from your last fight in January to now?
It's improved a lot, man. I'm just, like I was saying, it's almost just like, your techniques, your skill set. It's just something that's constantly getting trained. If you're training it, it's not something, I don't think that's something that, just kind of comes along magically. It's something that, you don't just kind of stumble upon it. But, if you put in effort, just like, you're working out, you got to lift, work out every day. You got to get those mental reps in, and, really focus on training your mind. But I think I've my more than anything, really, the mental aspect for me has improved since my last fight in January, and I can't wait to step in the cage and get to show that, because I think that's really what's going to show this fight is. I'm willing to leave it all out there, and I'm just going to go straight forward, get in his face. And I don't think there's any way that, they should be able to keep up with my pace. And, so I'm just going to get out there, and if it goes into later rounds, I'm willing to drag them into deep water, and I'm not afraid to drown. So I'm not afraid to get out there and swim with them.
Love it, man. Like we said, 3-0 right there. LFA, UFC Fight Pass. I know the cliche thing to say, one fight at a time and all that. What do you think could be next? Are you really looking? Are you really to? I talked to Dustin about it. There's just been so many call-ups in this short pandemic of the UFC. A lot of fighters that to be blunt, maybe shouldn't deserve to be in the UFC, or getting late call-ups, or so are you itching to get in, or it's like, no, I'll take the slow burn whenever I feel ready, whenever people around me feel ready. It might be even, you never know what it is, but how do you feel after this fight going forward? What would you prefer?
I'll take the opportunities as they come, so
Okay.
I could. It's been a dream for me since I was freaking 6 years old to be in the UFC, so I really feel like I might have a hard time saying no,
Right.
for me. But with that being said, my focus is on being the best champion, that there's ever been, and that I know that that's a long time from now. I got a time to put in. I got a lot of dues to pay. I got a lot of stuff I have to do in order to do that. So I'm not trying to rush anything. I just know that whenever I do get to the UFC, I want to be ready,
Right.
So I don't,
Right.
so I'm not in too much of a hurry to I'm not trying to rush a couple fights and get in the UFC as soon as possible. If that happens, that's great. I would love to be, and personally, I think it's our job to believe this too, anyways, as fighters, but I do believe that I am almost ready, at least, if
Right.
not compete at the highest level. But I still, like I said, I got to pay my dues, and I'm only 3-0 right now. That's brand new. I'm a freaking baby in the sport, pretty much. So I gotta get my experience and go through the weight cuts and put in my reps, pretty much, to deserve that shot. So that's something that I think, not to take away from anybody or anything, like you were saying, kind of with the UFC lately, with all the
Right.
going on in the world. Maybe some people are getting pulled up a little premature or whatever. And everything happens for a reason. And
Sure.
I'm happy for everybody, dude. I want everybody to do good.
Right.
If you're in my weight class or whoever, I want everybody everywhere in anything, not just sports or MMA, just everybody.
100%. 100%.
So if you get that shot, that's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
hoping ready, but yeah, maybe there definitely is. There's been a few times that some people got pulled up that, maybe might not have. I don't want to say
Right.
don't deserve it, because that's, I don't know what what they've done in their life, the work they put in, whatever. So, but maybe a little bit premature. But with that being said, good for them, and
Yeah.
the UFC's got to do what they got to do to make those fights happen, and it's just crazy times for everybody right now.
It is. It is really crazy. Man, just in MMA, I love it. It just seems like it's on fire in a great way. Contender Series, we got this weekend, LFA, Bellator, and UFC. You got so many fighters. You got so many things moving and going. I just love the momentum of the sport right now, mixed martial arts. And one thing you said, something about 6 years old, man. When I was 6, bro, I was watching Ninja Turtles, Shredder. You watching Matt Hughes do work? What are you watching at 6 years old?
Both of them. I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan.
Of course. Like,
honestly, I've just had this dream forever. Me and my dad. I remember growing up, my dad was a day one UFC fan, so just
love it.
couch watching it with him, and we'd freaking get super hyped up, and I'm sure that at the time it had a lot to do with my dad loving it. I loved it. Dad loved it, but I fell in love with it immediately. So I've known for a long time. I'm very, very fortunate. I feel like it's not very common for people to find what they love, what they're passionate about early on in life. And I'm very fortunate, very blessed to have found MMA at a young age. And, I didn't get to start training right away at 6, but I mean, I guess I didn't actually start training, but just knowing that's what I wanted to do, I feel like
Did you wrestle in high school and stuff?
So I wrestled. So that was the deal. Me and my dad, I ever since I was little, my dad, I told my dad, I want to be a world champion. And him being a slightly knowledgeable MMA, fan, he realized how dominant wrestling was, early on.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I wish I would have got into wrestling a little bit sooner, for sure. Especially looking back now, I wish I would have freaking wrestled like came out of the womb.
Yeah.
The wrestlers are the freaking baddest dudes on the planet, for sure. But with that,
they control the fight. Usually the wrestlers control the fight. If a wrestler even wants to stand, seems like Gaethje, he just wants to stand now, but he controls just wanting to stand. He controls where it goes.
I kind of think of it as like the in-between. It's almost like it's like the smallest portion of MMA. It's only like the transition period in between up and down, or in between down and up. But it's most crucial. It dictates where the fight's at.
Yeah.
For the most part, with that being said, of course, everything else plays into everything. That's what's so great about MMA. If you're a high-level striker, your wrestling just bumped up a couple levels because you can set up your shots so well with your striking. And then, same way, vice versa. If you're a good jiu-jitsu artist, you're good off your back, your striking just got better because now you're not afraid to overcommit and get taken down, So,
right.
and that's what I truly love about this sport is just the unlimited possibilities and matchups and, stylistic, styles make fights,
Yeah.
So it's just cool, man. It's an amazing sport. And, yeah, but anyways, my dad told me that he wouldn't let me start training MMA until I wrestled. And
Okay.
I was going, I lived in Hillsborough, Missouri, and my school didn't offer wrestling until 7th grade. So I wrestled my 7th and 8th grade year and did fairly well. And my dad was like, all right, we'll find an MMA for you. And ever since then, I found Han MMA in Festus, Missouri, and trained there for about 5 years. And I mean, as soon as I started training, man, I mean, I was in love immediately.
Yeah. It's so much easier, man, when you do love it. It's honest guy's truth. Any athlete, you can tell there's football players. There are so many more men more talented than Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. They probably just be blunt. They just don't love it as much as those two guys. Day in, the studying, the work ethic, just all that wrapped into one. So even the best MMA guys, I see tons of talented fighters, but they're 12-7, and their talent can take them to so much, but they don't love the sport. They don't love the grind of it. So it is what it is, man.
There's so much more too than I mean, to be honest, I every single day that passes, I truly believe more and more that your mindset is the biggest part of this game to really any life. I mean, I believe, and I'm still young, so shoot, I'm sure I don't know anything, so probably completely wrong, but the way it seems, anyways, every single day that passes, I'm seeing more and more that it's not about who's get more gifted or even who wants to train hard when they want to train hard. It's about hard and not even training hard, just doing the right things.
Yeah, training smart.
Yeah, are you training smart? That's another part about training hard. You have to train smarter so you can train harder. You
Right.
So you got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward, and so they're being smart. Are you disciplined enough to be eating right? Because that's a huge thing. You see way more talented fighters lose fights sometimes because they have a weight cut and I've been there. My one loss in MMA, I lost to Luis Pena. That was really probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me too. Was,
old school.
Yeah. I lost my 3rd MMA fight and had a terrible weight cut. Realized I needed to change camps. I moved away. That was the first time I moved away from home. After that fight, I got a nutritionist, got a strength and conditioning coach. It was just a kick in the butt. Kind of up. And luckily, still I was pretty young at the time. I had literally just turned 19 the week before that fight.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, there's so much that goes into this game. I was just thinking about it today. It's just so crazy that just the average fan too, that just tunes in to catch the fight. You think we just, train and then step in the cage and fight. And it's just not, it's literally is so, I was doing some mindset training pretty much earlier today. That physical therapy I said I was coming from.
Right.
Dr. Hero, guy I go to, he's kind of like a physical therapist that works on our team over at Sanford MMA. He's freaking amazing. He's awesome. I love him. He's done so much for me. He's got me feeling so good for this fight. I can't wait.
That's great.
But yeah, we were working on some mindset stuff too, and it's just about, we were talking about just calming down and, it's so hard. You have so many nerves and emotions, especially when you put so much into it, it feels like there's so much riding on each and every fight. But yeah, there's just so much more to just being a good fighter,
Yeah.
All the time too with dudes in the gym. You see a dude in the gym, you're like, holy cow, that dude's amazing. And then for some reason under the spotlight, he can't whether it's the pressure of the, with the nerves or he didn't have a good weight cut. He's not disciplined enough to cut weight right. All kinds of stuff. Maybe there's different stuff that comes into play. What's going on in your regular life? Maybe pass away or something happened to where mess up your training and you got to work around it. It's just so much, man. That's what makes the sport so great. Is that the harder the task, the greater the reward. So.
Right. 100%, man. There's so much there. There's so much I want to unpack there. There's one is I see guys train all the time and they're putting, 100-pound weights on their back, and they're trying to practice against a wrestler, but they're literally fighting a guy who's just, a kickboxer who's going to jab them all day. It's like, maybe you shouldn't do that. It's just little details. And like you said, training smart, there's so much of that going on. And then just, there's so much outside the octagon. There's so much noise. There's so much going on. I would love for you I kind of had Michael Chandler written down. I had Sanford MMA written down, Dusty Scrappy, my man. So you made that move when 1920, you moved down to Florida?
No, I wish, man. No, not that I wish at all, because
everything happens for a reason.
I'm a very firm believer. Everything happens for a reason, and
yep.
I'm that where I'm supposed to be. So actually, yeah, after that loss, I moved from Missouri, where I grew up,
right,
to California. I was so young and naive, and still probably am, but I was literally just thinking after that loss, I was like, the goal never changed. The goal has never once changed in my life. I'm always wanted to be a world champion, and I don't think that's ever going to change. And but anyways, I knew that if I did, if I did want to be a world champion, I had to get some different training, different looks,
sure.
Different training partners, different coaching. So I wanted to just move out to California. I figured California was just such a big, heavily populated state with so many big gyms out there. I was like, I'm gonna pack up my car and drive out there. I'll live in my car if I have to. But I had no idea how life works. I had no money. But anyways, I ended up saving up a whole bunch of money. I worked really hard, and I had that was the first time I made shirts as like a fundraiser, and I'm so unbelievably blessed with so many good friends and family.
That's the grind.
And supporters that help me out every step of the way. But anyways, I ended up getting out to California. Some family friends of mine, the Castlemans, shout out to the Castlemans, I freaking love you guys. They said they heard that I was wanting to move out to California, and they're like, hey, we live in Stockton, and I'm not sure where you're wanting to go, but our daughter just moved back home, and we have an empty room if you want to come stay with us. So as soon as I heard Stockton, I thought of the Diaz brothers.
Right.
Them, and it was only 3 miles away, and I was like, dude, I'm going out there. So I went and trained at the Diaz Academy for about a year and a half, and got a bunch of awesome experience out there. And then I moved back home after that, because the Castlemans, the family friends I was living with, they moved back to Missouri. And anyways, I moved back with them, and then that's when I started training at Finney's MMA, and that's where I met Dustin, actually. He had just moved back from Florida also. And then after about a year of that, he moved back down to Florida and went to Hard Knocks. And the day he went there, man, he called me, he was like, dude, you got to get down here, this is the gym for you. So shortly after, packed up and went down, and here we are.
Wow. Dude, love that story. And how crazy, how kismet is it that on this show, LFA show, a guy who's been on the podcast 3-4 times, a stud is that Nick Maximov, who trains out of the Stockton boys and trains with the Diaz. I think he's the co-main, or the one underneath the co-main. I've been talking to him for a minute. He's a future superstar. Like, I think he's got a lot of unlimited potential in there. So that's a funny little thing.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I really, really like those guys out there. Awesome dudes, man. And very, very fortunate to have gotten the time to train out there. And unfortunately, I didn't know Nick too well. I got to train with him a couple times, and dude, phenomenal. Like, ridiculous. So yeah, I'm very excited. I'm sure he's got a very, very bright future. Like I said, I didn't get to know him too well or anything, but he was very nice to me, and super hard worker, and unbelievably skilled. I don't necessarily like to use the word talented all the time, because I do, but that's what it is. You're developing a talent, but I think people take talent as like something that's given to you, and that's definitely not what he possesses. It's a lot. It's skills, through hours and hours and hours of hard work and dedication.
Right, for sure, man. Guys, we're talking to Evan Elder, LFA Friday night UFC Fight Pass. There's two names I really want to throw at you and just kind of discuss. One close to your gym and one on the West Coast. One, let's go with Michael Chandler. Trains with him. I see you guys pictures on your Instagram. He has a big decision. He's kind of, to me, when you think of Bellator, I do at least, I think of Michael Chandler. To me, it would have a crazy Eddie Alvarez feel if he came over to UFC. Could probably do some big things. There's a Poirier fight out there for him right away. There's a Dan Hooker, and who knows in that lightweight division. What do you think of Michael Chandler? What do you think should he do, or if you were in his shoes, what would you do?
First off, I've looked. You know what's funny is I've looked up to Mike since I was like little bitty, especially.
Right.
Yeah, he went to high school 15 minutes away from me. So
Wow.
it's crazy, but he's been one of my idols since day one, and I have a freaking signed Michael Chandler poster in my garage back home from when I was right before I started training, actually. And
Wow.
dude, it's so crazy. But now
if I could say, I really think in the last 2010 to 2020, to me, MMA with a huge boom. I think he's one of the most underrated fighters there is.
Dude, he's spectacular. He's not, and what's amazing about him is he's so much more. He's so much more than just a great fighter. He's just a spectacular person, and he's I really really aspire to be like him when I'm older. Because I truly believe, ever since I was younger, like I said, I thought the only thing in the world that mattered was being a world champion. Since I was little bitty, every single day I'd wake up, the only thing that mattered was being the best I could, best fighter I could be. And I really am fortunate enough to have, I guess, had a little bit of an epiphany almost. There was a tragedy in the family. I had a younger cousin that passed away at 19, but going to her funeral, there were so many people there, and it was just like, as terrible as it was like just so heartwarming and just unbelievable to see how many lives she had touched before she had passed away. And it really just kind of changed my outlook on life. And I think God kind of let me in on a little secret and, told me that, now that I have this mindset ingrained in me that, the only thing in life that matters is to be a champion. Because honestly, I think to be a champion, you kind of have to have that mindset. Because if you don't, there's somebody out there that does, for sure.
Right.
But now I think that I have that ingrained in me. And but now I do believe there's much, much bigger things in life than fighting and sports. So, now I think fighting is definitely my passion, but I do believe my purpose is just to positively impact as many lives as possible before I leave. So, going back to Mike, he's just he's a great guy and impacts so many lives. And that's really what I plan on doing, is just, becoming a world champion to have the platform,
right,
and the resources, not just a platform just to speak, but I really want to do a lot of good with any bit of the money that I can, acquire along the way. And, I got to take care of my family and loved ones first, and everybody that's given so much to me first. But after that, man, all the overflow is going freaking to try to do as much good in this world before I leave.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Dude, we really do appreciate your time. It's fight week for you. We cannot wait. Friday night's the fight. Last kind of name I want to throw out there too, and I talked to Dustin about this, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I love MMA so much. Just think of Masvidal 2019. It just happened so fast. I really think Lampros is one of those guys in a year and a half from now. Cheeto Vera, right? One of the biggest names in the sport, on fire. Defeat O'Malley. What do you think of Cheeto Vera? What do you think is next? Have you trained with him? Have you had any connections with the Cheeto show?
No, I haven't trained with him or nothing. But yeah, dude. I mean, dude's obviously a beast, and just had a huge win over Sean O'Malley, and derailed that train a little bit. It's kind of a little. I don't want to say fluky, because O'Malley might have tripped over all that hype they had on him, and rolled his ankle, but no, but not really. I'm not a hater. Freaking. I do hope my boy Dustin Scrappy Lampros gets that fight, though. Man, he wants to fight him so bad.
I know.
Sean O'Malley. I think that'd be a good fight for him.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley's tough, though, dude. I mean, he's a tough dude. Everybody in the UFC is, man. That's what, everybody's there for a reason. Even the people that get pulled up premature or whatever, everybody's there for a reason. It's just it's a different level, But yeah, Cheeto, another dude that's just on another level. And he's got a very bright future, and I think that just kind of catapulted him, because Sean O'Malley was a big name, and but no, I can't wait. I think Dustin, I'm excited for him to fight again, whenever that is. He's trying to get that all figured out and worked out right now. But he's pretty close. He's 5-0 right now, so
Really cool.
6-0 coming up, and that shot could be coming at any time. So I'm very, very excited and glad to be one of his friends and training partners, and get to enjoy that journey with him, man.
That's awesome, brother. Love the story. Really sorry to hear that about your loss, about your cousin. That's very, very sad. My man, the platform's yours. We really appreciate your time. We cannot wait to watch you Friday night at UFC Fight Pass. Any kind of sponsors, plugs, social medias, platform's yours, my man.
Dude, you got an extra hour? Man, I have so many people to thank, but I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. But first off, my team, Sanford MMA, we got the best team in the world, man. Best training partners, best coaches. Shout out to Henry Hoof, our head coach, striking legend. Greg Jones, freaking highly decorated wrestling legend. Kami Barzini, freaking wizard of wisdom. And then all of our amazing training partners, man. I couldn't do it without you guys, and I'm so blessed and fortunate to be part of the team. And and then after that, all my sponsors, just to name a couple, just Pioneer Paving, Assertus, Martin Jetco Heating and Cooling, just so many great people. And last and absolutely not least is just all my friends and families and supporters, man. It's just I'm so blessed to have such amazing people in my life, and I couldn't do it without you guys. I love you all, man.
That's awesome, brother, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate your time so much. We cannot wait. Friday night, UFC Fight Pass, LFA 88. The Phenom, Evan Elder, was going to put on a show. We are so excited for you for that fight. And what's next? Evan, man, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. You have a great day. It's good getting to talk to you.
Likewise, man. Likewise. Appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.